And now we're gonna go find that cedar. So that's gonna be fun. Here we go. There we go. Awesome. Barret has a strong resemblance to the little wretches. I tell you, both of them are little fuckers. Anyway. Up we go. Into the dungeon. Or maybe not the dungeon, more just Cleveland. Well, no, actually the dungeon, because it's fucking 10 frames a second. Great. Game lagged me to death. Let's try this again. On Gears of War. Like to play. Fuck. Fucking cedars. Spitting that shit out. Sideways pistol, it's a kill shot. Big bitch downstairs. He's going to fuck you. Ah shit, Luigi, we gotta do it all over again. That out first. There we go. Shot the tanks. There any more tanks?
Try blowing that truck.
Good idea. Excellent. It's like also well below the 60 frame rate.
Delta, come in on ya.
Marcus, is that you?
Power line repair's complete. What's the status on that train?
Run.
Not good. The Locusts are on board. They're throwing our guards onto the tracks. And according to grid power levels, your bridge is still inoperable.
Options?
You're close to Timgad Central Energy. If power can be restored, that will be the place to do it.
Roger that. We're headed there now. Delta out. Let's Let's move. Incoming frag!
Excellent. Off we go. There just was not a gaming generation like this. It's kind of what gets me with Gears of War and the Xbox 360. Just how everything was going forward, and then eventually, when the Xbox One came back, it was actively going backwards until now, where it's like, you look at the Xbox 360, how it started, games were kind of like this, an extension of what was in the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. And then, they kind of, you know, went to what they were with graphics, trying to push graphics to the limit, if not being a little restrictive, just because they were on an old-ass console. But for what they lacked in at times, you know, kind of gameplay, they made up for with the visuals. Admittedly, I think they became a bit restrictive with level design. At least that was more an issue with the game itself as opposed to shitty business. You knew what you were getting into. It was straightforward and you could literally fucking see it. Meanwhile, with these new games, you just can't fucking tell. Like, it's borderline fucking impossible to distinguish all of them, for one, because they all look the fucking same. That is to say, some variation of Play-Doh with scratches on it, with a lot of bloom and lights and shit, that, you know, look impressive until you realize, they're literally never changed. Like, even Unreal 3, every game looks visually fucking distinct. Gears of War does not look like Gears of War 2. Or 3. I mean, hell, even the Saw game, even like Burger King and other shit as well. Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, whatever else it be. Even games in the same genre, Call of Duty, every game looked fucking different. Even though they shared roughly the same engine, they still, you could look at a game and distinct, you know, tell that they were distinct from each other. Can you tell that now? Not really. Maybe aside from some guns and animations, but in all actuality, even that's starting to become really fucking hard to tell. Meanwhile, you can tell that Marcus here looks, you know, a bit stiff, but it's just Gears of War 1. You look at the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you can still tell it's Gears of War 1, but the graphics share more in common with the 2016 remaster of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which shares a lot in common with, say, you know, Fallout 4, or Call of Duty World War II, or Advanced Warfare, or any number of other games. When they got the fidelity right, they forgot how to do the art as well. And they figured, yeah, we can just make this shit look super whatever. Not bother with any pizzazz, you know? Look at this. Meanwhile, this is some fucking pizzazz. Even with the fake God rays, it still looks better. This is what gets me. it starts with like these kind of Play-Doh-ish looking games, and eventually turns into like abstract art where you're having these games that are like fantastically real with the gardens of heaven and shit, like in Halo 4. I love the progression of how the game started with, like, say, Halo 3, and went to Halo 4 with, you know, ODST and Reach as well. Where Halo 3, I mean, you look at the first Halo, it looks a little cartoony, a little blocky, a little basic. Compare that to Halo 4. And all the games in between. And you just see this wonderful line of progression where technology increased, you know, advanced as they went along with two consoles. And it's not that they were just, you know... Oh yeah, also. Gotta play the piano. Meant to do that earlier, but yeah, whatever. Better late than never. It wasn't just that they were progressing with tech, it was that they were also progressing with what they were doing with stories and gameplay. I think Halo 4 was probably one of my favorites, but I can see why people didn't like it. It was a fun good playing game, but it's just settling for good when you're expecting greatness is kind of just not gonna cut it, you know? People don't want second-rate gaming. They want the best of the best. If you ain't striving to be the best, you're striving to be the last. You know, in the words of Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. And unfortunately, that's just the way people looked at it and still do. A grenade at him. Put an entire magazine to his face, point blank, and it still didn't kill him. Whatever. Alright, Microsoft. Gotta bring in the firepower this time. The pistol. He pissed me off, so I'm gonna use the pistol on him. As, like, so far as you've seen throughout this playthrough, absolutely nothing is immune to the pistol. Not even the boomers. Nothing can withstand the fury of the pistol. Shoot the doors off. Like to take cover. Cannot do that. Okay. Just scared him off. But yeah, like technology progressed not just in like the way it was functioning, but also the way it looked, and unfortunately that's just not something that I don't think anyone, you know, will ever be able to live through again with this kind of medium. It's why I really liked the Xbox 360, and especially the early 2010s, where I think the early 2010s was where technology in games really peaked. It was just at the best place, and really, the Xbox 360, once it went to the Xbox One and the business got screwed up, was when it, you know, it was good there, say, until about like 2014, 2015, I want to say. It was really when they started putting in all these microtransactions and DLCs into games. I never had problems with DLCs. What I had problems with was them not justifying them. But it was a bad precedent that eventually got to here. Inevitably, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And look at what they've done to the place. Now, not that it looked particularly attractive in the first place, but destroyed it more than this. Although I'd say this was more, at least, honest. It's fun to make shit that blows up. Boom. Somehow Marcus survived. Not once, not twice, but once. And he will do it again. And die. How you doing there, buddy? He got a real purty mouth, ain't he? Alright. Fuck do you take cover here? There's no cover there, dude. Marcus must be smoking the crack. Pistol time. Yep, and he's been shot and killed with the gun.
This goes from bad to worse.
Oh, constantly.
This really sucks. Control, we're at Timgad Central Energy.
Copy that. What's your status?
Just moving in now. Wish us luck. Baird, Cole, take Jack and head right. Dom, let's get that power online.
Okay. And in we go. Okay, don't want that one either. Oh shit. Nice shot, buddy. Oh, they're gone. Bye-bye. It's a giant worm. They sawed him in half. They saw him, they had to ask him a question.
Marcus,
That didn't take
I was
long.
wrong. It wasn't the Stranded tapping the grid, it was these guys. They're taking it underground. All of it.
Tell me you can fix it.
I'm working on it. Damn it, Jack, the other circuit. But you'll need to turn off some panels up there.
What are we looking for?
Panels, you know, green glowing lights, valves.
Okay, so nothing helpful. In other words, hail Hydra. The funniest thing about game difficulty is that Usually it's just how long do you want this game to take. Not that it really makes the game more challenging, usually. Like, Halo is probably the only example of making it actually more fucking challenging. Meanwhile, like, basically every other game I can think of just does not do that. For what reason? I cannot tell you, because most of them will just, like, increase the health, increase the enemy damage, that's about it. Gonna let me over? Okay.
Panels, you know, green.
This part's getting a bit too long, so let me cut that shit too.